one garment, yet it is not made from one strand alone. Its beauty comes from joining, ordering, and bringing many lines into one visible harmony. So the garment beside the Messiah begins to suggest that the bride is not only radiant, but gathered. Her splendor is the splendor of oneness formed through divine arrangement. The older witnesses support the imagery of the queen standing in gold of Ophir, her clothing woven in fine gold, and her beauty beside the king in royal order. This is why the image widens so naturally into one body, one house, one royal reality. The bride appears as one, yet the garment's woven form quietly suggests hidden multiplicity brought into harmony. What was many has not vanished, it has been joined. What was separate has not been discarded, it has been ordered. The beauty of the bride is therefore not empty simplicity. It is fullness made one. That is why the woven gold feels so profound. It reveals a king who does not merely choose, but gathers. He does not merely summon, he joins. He does not merely honor, he forms a visible unity that can stand before him in splendor. And this gives another beautiful weight to the Peshitta, because the daughter is first called to hear, to see, and to incline her ear. The oneness that later appears in royal beauty does not begin in outward display. It begins in many inward acts of hearing, many hidden turnings, many yielded responses to the voice of the king. So the one garment may be heard as carrying within itself the secret history of response. The visible unity of the bride rests upon a hidden gathering of lives turned toward the Messiah. Then the Ethiopian witness strengthens the same mystery from the side of fullness, because the queen appears in adorned golden garments and enters the palace with joy. The image is not broken or scattered. It is one scene, one order, one royal gladness. So the ancient witness does not merely show beauty. It shows beauty brought into form, into place, into a shared joy before the king. That is why the bride's garment can be heard as more than personal adornment. It begins to speak of one gathered reality entering the house in ordered splendor. This is where the older Jewish streams add still more quiet light. If the Targum can hear the king of Psalm 45 as King Messiah, then the one standing beside him in woven gold is already being heard inside a messianic horizon. And if the Midrashic stream on Isaiah 54 can hear covenant life in nuptial and dwelling language, then the movement toward one house becomes even more luminous. Betrothal moves toward marriage, and marriage toward dwelling. So the bride's woven garment may be heard as the visible sign of many brought into one covenant beauty before the Messiah. So another layer begins to shine. The woven gold is not only honor, witness, remembrance, vision, and expectation, but also the sign of a many-threaded oneness. The bride is one, yet her woven beauty suggests gathering. The garment is one, yet its very form suggests joining. The royal splendor is one, yet it bears within itself the mystery of many lines brought into harmony by the king. And that gives the psalm another tenderness, because the bride does not stand beside the Messiah as a solitary marvel detached from all else. She stands as a royal mystery of union brought into visible form. Her garment quietly teaches that what the king gathers, he can make one. What he orders, he can make beautiful. What he joins in covenant nearness, he can cause to appear as one royal reality before his face. So the royal song opens into another holy chamber, the many-threaded bride, one garment, one beauty, one house, one royal reality beside the Messiah, all of it bearing witness that the king's preparing work does not end in scattered fragments, but in gathered splendor before his throne. And because the king's preparing work does not end in scattered fragments, but in gathered splendor before his throne, another depth begins to open. The many-threaded bride is not only a sign of oneness, she is a sign of hidden interdependence. A woven garment does not shine because one thread is sufficient in itself. Its beauty appears because each thread holds its place in relation to the others, and because the whole pattern depends on their ordered joining. So the royal image begins to suggest that what stands beside the Messiah in visible glory is sustained by a mystery of joined life beneath the surface. The older witnesses preserve the queen's golden clothing and the garment's woven character, which makes that image especially meaningful here. This opens the bride in another direction, because she is not only one in appearance, she is one through relation. Her splendor is not the splendor of isolation. It is the splendor of many things rightly held together. That is why the woven gold feels so alive. It does not merely suggest gathering in a general sense. It suggests that every part has meaning because of the whole, and the whole becomes beautiful because each part has been placed in order. And this gives another beautiful weight to the Peshitta, because the daughter is first called to hear, to see, and to incline her ear. That means the royal beauty that later appears is rooted in response, and response itself is never an empty abstraction. It is a living relation to the king. So when the many-threaded garment is heard in that light, it begins to suggest not merely many threads existing together, but many responses held in one harmony before the Messiah. The oneness of the bride rests on a hidden communion of hearing. Then the Ethiopian witness reinforces the same mystery from the perspective of royal gladness, as the queen appears adorned and enters the palace with joy. Joy in the house is not the joy of fragments remaining disconnected. It is the joy of things brought into place. So the ancient witness quietly supports the same pattern. One royal entrance, one royal joy, one royal order, and beneath that visible unity, the hidden joining by which such harmony becomes possible. This is where the older Jewish streams continue